Today we're going to look at joins in Microsoft Access. Joins in Microsoft Access act very similar to any join in any relational database management system. So really most of the databases out there that commonly would be used. Joins are pretty complicated. There are whole chapters and books dedicated to them. There are whole modules and courses dedicated to them. So what I'm going to cover today is very lightweight, but hopefully will get you started with joins. So the place we see joins mostly is in queries. So here I've got a query. So let's just look at these two tables that I'm going to join. So let me just go. It's the employee and it's the state table. So first of all, it is always highly recommended when you're going to be joining tables, you do it with ID numbers. ID numbers are unique. They are numeric, so they join quickly. If you're joining large pieces of data together, large tables, and you're doing that on text, it can slow the database down. It can slow your query down. And it can cause issues, and we'll see that in a second. So, but in the meantime, just for an example, we've got two tables here. We've got employee table, and there's some state codes here. And then we've got a state code table with the state code and the state name. So when I join these, I have got this set up as a inner join. That means that the results that come back have to appear in both tables. So if I datasheet view this, you will see there's two results, but in the employee table, there's three. And the reason is because Ontario is not in the state table. And by making that an inner join, we are excluding that result. So that's a very dangerous thing to do. So one of the things you can do is if there is a doubt or, within your database, you would probably build this so you couldn't add Ontario, but this is just for an example. But if you did have this and you were allowing people just to enter the state free form, then you want to make sure that you've got this as a left join or a right join. So the only difference between left join and right join is the direction of this arrow. So when I go to join properties, I want this one. Include all records from employee. And the way that I did that was when I joined this table, I went from this table to this table. So I went from the left table to the right table. And now when I do that this is called an outer join, it will return all records from employee regardless of whether they show up on state. So when I datasheet view that, you can now see that appears. There's no state code because Ontario isn't in there, but at least we got all the records back. Now, in order to join that the other way, which in this example wouldn't make sense, we wouldn't want to do, you would delete that, and then you would just go from the right table to the left table. And now when you do that, include all records from one, not the other, it will do that. So the arrow will go the other way. But in this case, we want to make sure all records are coming from the employee table. We don't care whether they're on the state table. So that is an inner join. One nice thing about this is you can actually, if I was to put, so if I was to do the state code and put the state code is no, this would actually show me, all of the results that come up where there is a record not in the table state, but in the table employees. So this is nice. You could run this before, like say you open a form, and if there's a result here, if there's any records, you could have a pop-up that says, please note that there are states where they are not matched in the state code table. And that would drive the user in order to add those. So that's really the big difference between left join and right join and inner join. So again, most people do inner joins. They just kind of go in here and they go, oh, okay, I'm going to connect these two things. You got to be very careful. And as always, bad example here because I just wanted to show something, but you would usually want to do by number. So you would have a state ID and then a state code and a state name. And then on the table and table employee, you would have IDs. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Please also share. Please go ahead and check out my other videos on my page. Have a great day.